Hi there. Welcome to Palette University and what's going to be a very not normal video. So, I try not to talk about political things, at least on the channel. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I do tend to retweet and share some political things on my Twitter. But because, most people who follow me here on YouTube don't follow me on Twitter, even though you should. But I don't see this as a political thing. And, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you know what's been going on in the United States the last week, 5 to 6 days. And I want to address very upfront that I am a very white dude from a middle to upper middle class family who hasn't had to struggle for all that much in my entire life. So, but I think it's important to recognize your privilege and to use that as an advantage to help people without it. So that's what this video is sort of about. I had all sorts of stuff planned for this week because I'm now done with all of my work that I had been doing for this past semester. So this was the first time in over a year that I've had literally no responsibilities, literally nothing but free time. And I had lots of stuff planned for this week. I had, 2 to 3 episodes of the Mystery Dungeon Let's Play. I was probably going to finish that up this week, as well as a couple, one sciencey type video and one just sort of fun video that I decided to make because I'm here at home and I found some, well, you'll see the video eventually. But regardless, it didn't feel right for me to just go about my normal internet life, given everything going on right now, and just not talking about what's going on, because I feel like even though I do occupy just a very small corner of the internet, I feel like it's my responsibility as a person with any sort of platform to talk about what's going on. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So I tried to think of a way to say this in a way that wasn't offensive. But then I realized I kind of mean it as an offense. If you don't support the Black Lives Matter movement, I don't want you here. I don't want you in my community. Because if you respond to that by saying all lives matter, that sends to, a message to any members of our community who are persons of color that they don't matter to you. And I want this community to be inclusive to everybody. And with the exception of people who are intolerant. I'm not tolerant of intolerance, which sounds like an oxymoron, but really it's not. So that's sort of one of the main messages here, is that if you're here and you watch my videos for whatever reason, you want to learn more about science, you enjoy Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, if you're the type of person who would reply basically anything like, oh, but the looters, oh, but the rioters, oh, but the autopsy report, blah, 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 any sort of conspiracy theory nonsense, I don't want you here. I don't want your views. If you reply any of those things in the comments, normally I'm very much a person who, everyone's got a right to be heard. But with that kind of thing, I'm not having it. I'm just not. I don't want you here. And so that's sort of one main thing that I wanted to address in this. And sort of the reason for that is, if you are the type of person to respond, all lives matter, or anything sort of in that vein to something like this, you either aren't paying enough attention to, the systematic oppression of people of color, specifically black people in this country, or you're racist, and at some point there is no difference there. So I'm just kind of not having it. And just a sort of a counter argument to all lives matter, I sort of like to think of it as an analogy of like a chain. a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If you have a link or a chain of 100 links that are 99 of them are steel and one of them is paper, that's not a very good chain. So, and I mean that as an analogy to say, until Black Lives Matter, all lives can't matter. You know what I mean? So, that's that out of the way. Secondly, actually, I did have one more thing. I found a very good quote that I think sort of establishes this well. So this is, I'm not an especially religious person, but I was part of a Christian club for the last year and a half, 2 years of undergrad. And it really meant a lot to me. So when I saw this quote from Luke 15 come across my Facebook today, because I'm old and still use Facebook, I thought it was really profound. So this is from Luke 15 in the Bible. 100 sheep, but one goes missing. Jesus leaves the 99 and goes after the one. The 99, but what about us? Don't we matter? Of course the 99 still matter, but they're not the ones in danger. The one is. So, while yes, all lives do matter, but my life is not in danger every day when I leave the house. So mine isn't the one that I'm particularly focused on right now. So that's sort of step number one. Step number two of this video is talking about content. I planned to have a video up, originally planned to have a video up. I think I wanted one every day this week, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm taking today to get some streaming stuff ready, alerts, stuff like that, ready to be streaming on YouTube. And I'm going to be streaming from 11:30 a.m. / noonish to about 2 p.m. Every day this week, raising money for a variety of different things, whether it's bail funds, legal funds, several nonprofit resources helping people protesting and spreading awareness about things that are actually happening and the good causes that these people are out there fighting for. I'll leave, there will be 1 million links in the description of this video for ways you can help out specifically, since I'm aware that the vast majority of my viewership, I can tell through my YouTube analytics, the vast majority of my viewership are white people. So specifically, I'm going to be leaving a lot of links for things that, as a white person, you can do while not overshadowing the actual struggles of people of color, and while also not being kind of a dick about it. Those will be some links in the description. But for the most part, the links will be things like there's several specifically focusing around Minneapolis area stuff, but also I'll be throwing in some New York City, because that happens to be close to me, resources as well. So that is what I'll be doing for this week. I don't know what I'll be streaming, but I will be streaming something on YouTube, presumably something Pokemon. But yeah, any proceeds raised through that at the end of the stream, I will donate every penny of that to whatever charity I see fit. I'll probably do a different one each day. So if you can afford to come through, please do. I would really appreciate it. So if you are out there, fighting the good fight, protesting, please be safe. Wear your face mask, because coronavirus is still a thing. But also it helps in not being able to identify you in any potential videos that are taken of you. Bring milk, because it helps with tear gas. Fun fact. Don't wear any kind of lotion or sunscreen, because that traps the tear gas. Wear some kind of protective goggles as well. I've seen really awful pictures of a reporter. I think it was a photojournalist who lost one of their eyes. This is an actual journalist with press credentials that the police aren't supposed to mess with. who literally lost an eye because they shot her in the face, basically point blank with a rubber bullet. So just be safe out there. And I guess with all of that, I will see you tomorrow.